clear. It was funny how it was.
Oh, it just goes back in, yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing.
He's trying to be here.
He's on there, he's invited.
Oh, okay. City of Newburgh seeks members for the IDA. Seeks, somebody getting over.
Well, no one's on. Right now, it's just city staff.
Well, that's what I mean.
So, yeah, that was one of the agenda items for new business last meeting was.
Is it on?
Yes.
Can you, huh?
Yes.
Can you turn it so we can see?
We'll let John say, our lawyer know that we're ready to go.
Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. Hi, John. Good to see you.
Good evening.
Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, sorry for the delay.
Well, we now have a quorum. And first order of business is to review the minutes from December 25.
Okay.
Alrighty, after having a chance to review them, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Thank you. Any questions or comments? All in favor of accepting the motions as printed, say aye.
Aye.
It's carried. Alrighty, financial reports. We have one for December and one for January. Ms. Wells.
Okay, we can look at January, balance sheet, balances.
Right.
For the, land bank phase 1, which is our operating grant, we've spent 100,000, or we've received 100,000, and we have 100,000 left to spend. We have, for the land bank initiative phase 2, capital funding. We have left to receive 725,000, and we, have left to spend 718,000. You know, it goes through all of the, inventory. And, highlight here. That's about it. Then with the profit and loss, we have year to date, July through January. And then on the last, where is it? On the last page, it's funny for me.
Sorry, me too. No, it's fine, it's good.
Okay, just got a little cut off the
Right here on the right.
what month are we in? Oh, yeah, okay, so I'm sorry, the categories got a little cut off, but we have brought in 75,000 or 76,000 in grant income in January. We had our basic expenses. You know, usually around the 30,000 amount. And we are in a net positive. There was a question, I don't know if I can explain this well, but there was a question for the accountant regarding how the grant money shows up on the reports for the land bank initiative. specifically. And she wrote something back, so I did have to translate. Says the land bank currently has 3 active LBI grants, phase 1 operations, phase 2, and phase 2 capital. 2 of these grants appear under assets because expenses have been incurred and will be reimbursed later. LBI phase 2 appears under liabilities because the land bank has already received reimbursement for costs that have not yet been incurred. Whether a grant sits as an asset or a liability is strictly a matter of timing, especially when funds are received versus when expenses are paid. Each grant includes 2 tracking accounts, left to receive and left to spend. Left to receive reflects the remaining amount the land bank has not yet received from HCR. Left to spend reflects the remaining amount available to spend from the original grant award. And we receive bills through formerly known as bill.com. We upload all our bills to that. And while some are tagged the appropriate grants, we often reconcile expenses and deposits based on what the land bank submits to HCR for reimbursement. That's helpful.
A little bit. All right. Any questions about money matters? Alrighty. Moving along to property-related matters. Legacy City.
So as you know, we're working on another round of Legacy City funding for 4 new homes in our house to home program. I had heard that program, Legacy City, which is a program of HCR, New York State Housing Community Renewal, that program has not been as popular and is undersubscribed, and they're rolling over that money into other programs. But I had kind of heard rumors of that, so I contacted Burke Blackman, who oversees that, and he said that's true, but if we had I told him we have this project that we're planning, he said they could reserve the funding.
Oh, good.
For the 11 units that we're planning on doing.
Orlando.
No, this is for 140 Chambers, 128 Du Bois, 11 South Miller,
Oh, I
and
see.
238 First. Yeah, the Landers
Got it.
as a rental. So that's a relief. I'm glad I reached out. And we're working on the application. Basically, I just need final, I have the preliminary budget from CPC, which is the construction lender. We had worked on a budget way back in, I think, July, but I didn't have I didn't have construction numbers because we didn't have plans and all of that. So we're working on getting those. Carlos has provided some preliminary numbers for 140 Chambers and 128 Du Bois, which, were quite high. Partially or mostly because these buildings are like double the size of previous buildings we've had in the like just the square footage, but also there's like additional, like a lot more windows and porches and stuff like that. So he did come down from what he had originally provided and is still reviewing them more. Like I just spoke to him right before this meeting. And then he'll also provide numbers for the other 2, which are gonna be cheaper because they're smaller. In the case of 238 First, there's not gonna be as much internal work. We're gonna be able to use more of what's existing there. So hopefully we'll get to a better place with that, and then I'm hoping to submit to the state a full application in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
And in terms of construction updates, that he did complete the roof replacement and joist replacement for the top floor at 11 South Miller. And if funding allows, we might look into doing the demo of the garage at 238 First. And there's a whole issue with that building with how it's being assessed,
Yeah.
because it's like being assessed, it was like 375,000, then it was higher this year, right? I can't remember
Yeah,
one
but
or
the
two.
proposed was gonna be 421,000, so I did reach out to,
Joanne?
it's-
Joel?
Yeah, I did, I
Oh,
spoke
no,
to Kathy.
Oh,
yeah.
Easy. And let her know what we were planning on doing with the building and that, it was in poor shape, didn't have running water, didn't have electricity, or.
And they're also counting it as like a 6-unit building or something,
Right, and the back.
including the
building-
garages that are completely destroyed.
Exactly, and that garage is enormous, it's like a 1,400 square foot footprint. The garage is bigger than the building itself, it's like 50 by 28, something like that. And so she told me, she said she went ahead and made some changes to the conditions that she could make. But basically, because there is another structure on the property, she was saying that it's difficult to reassess it much lower without removing that property. And to continue, I just said, well, can we continue to have this conversation, because we want to get this into our homeownership program, and it's much better for the homeowners if they start at a lower assessed value. Clearly, this is a little over.
That's just nuts.
Overvalued in general, because if you've been over, you see that, whatever, so she's like, look, this is what it is, and this is what you need to do, so. Once we have it demolished, we'll reach back out, and we have to notify them before, the taxable date status, which is March 1st. So,
Who's the assessor right now?
it was Joanne,
Yeah, did she retire?
she's not on the website anymore.
Oh, do they have one now?
Kathy.
I thought
Did
Kathy was
Kathy move
acting.
up?
Kathy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I don't know how this works, but I mean, that could be grieved and.
So we did grieve it and they reduced it.
She reduced it, went down to like 200,000 something already, 200. So she's already dropped
That
down the
seems
value
right.
by adjusting the overall grade or the condition of the property.
Right, because it was like, they were treating it as if it was like somebody could move in and there's
Right.
like not plumbing in the building, like. So,
So we'll continue to talk to them about that.
okay.
Are we gonna do with the space when we tear down the garage, use that for that space to reconstruct, or?
I don't think it will have the funding to be able to build anything, but we could. Revise it, but.
You have the 444A too, where you're gonna freeze the basis, right?
Yes, and that's why.
Oh, I'm like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? But, okay,
The RP 444.
yes, that's why we were concerned that the starting
Was too high.
assessment was so high, yeah.
Okay.
Cause we're not paying taxes, it's just that they won't get much of a reduction if it's.
Right.
And if you spend any time in that neighborhood recently, like, I mean, it's not that all the buildings are rough, but First Street has some pretty serious challenges.
Right, that's why we're paying that like $1,000 a month to have those steel plates on the windows.
Right. Okay.
So anyway, so that's the update with that.
Okay. Restore New York? Is that next? We got any
Yeah.
more? Okay.
So we have, completed asbestos remediation at 72 and 78 Lander. And, almost completed the structural stabilization at 72.
It's great.
Yeah, so of course, there was a little bit of a break, due to how cold it has been the last several weeks. But now they're working at 78, this week they started at 78 Lander.
76 is the corner.
76 is the corner, so then with 76, we got tested. We finally got the request to feel comfortable going in and testing for lead and asbestos. And it came back that there wasn't any asbestos.
That's great.
Great.
Which
I thought that roof would be.
I know. So that's great, and now we have to figure out how to do the work at 76. I was talking to Carlos just now about wrapping it and scaffolding. you know, and then we don't know what's happened in the last, you know, with all the snow and the condition of that roof. So, that kind of needs to be further assessed and figure out how to, we have structural stabilization plans, it's just kind of what needs to be done and how it needs to be done is hard to kind of square. But we're gonna continue working on that and we'll have to get an estimate, for the cost of that and see how much we can, how far we can go with it.
Basketball court that's sprouted out to the north is unsettling.
At 80,
I think that's the parcel right on the end.
On the other
Kids
side
are
of
on the other
78.
side, Yeah.
cause we have it all fenced off.
They fenced off part.
Yeah.
The people next door, I think they did that a while ago before we thought, before.
Well, was that Habitat that put the fence up?
I don't know who put it up, honestly, but I do know that 70, like.
Well,
82
I'm sure there's
uses
not
it.
a lot going on now with basketball.
Till late in the fall, there were little
Yeah.
kids out,
Oh, yeah.
it was scary.
Well,
to
so
look
we fenced off,
Basketball.
we
Collapsing
fenced
building.
off, they
Oh.
can't get in, supposedly can't get into
No. Very hard.
the rear yard of 78 because they were getting into that building, it's very dangerous. I mean, now there's work going on there, so they're not gonna go in there and it'll be less dangerous if they do. So yeah, that's going on there, and then we did complete the site, you know, we have the draft site plan that we just submitted today for the planning board. To hopefully be on the next work session meeting. And I shared with the board that site plan, it's like technically two site plans. And we're continuing to work with, so Zach Blau was the one who did the site plan as architect of record, and then we're working with, Diana and Yoshi from Open Structure on the design, and we met with them last week. These are some of their, like, working out layouts and stuff. They brought some really cool materials that they're looking at for like, more natural, like insulation materials. And they're working out the measure, you know, exact measurements and so forth.
And we're planning retail on the first floor.
Yes, so we had put in for restaurant, but I think that, you know, we'll have to see what gets approved
Yeah.
for both of them, for both 76 and 78. But there is gonna be retail of some sort.
That's the space that's being.
Yeah.
That's those.
I mean, this is kind of like them playing around, you know, it's not anything.
I would just go in for blank retail, whoever rents it, we're not selling it, right? We are.
Well, that's another question, is like, we're gonna be, the plan was to co-develop with someone who would become the eventual owner.
Mhm.
But I would also like to explore some co-ownership options for the land bank to remain. Both because there's maybe a possibility for income, but also, I'm nervous about people, you know, I want us to be able to ensure that these are gonna be well maintained.
Yeah.
So, what was the question?
That's the same.
The economics of the restaurant are gonna be very difficult.
Oh,
in
yes,
this
as my
project.
father who grew up, with the father who owned restaurants, the margin is very narrow, I hear.
And so it may not be worth all the effort to get a restaurant sited there and approved,
Right,
and whoever ends up renting the space may wanna do that themselves, and it may not be a restaurant.
oh, like they could go back and get the approvals if they want to put in a restaurant.
When you get down to that far of a site plan though, planning out for a restaurant, sometimes it's very difficult to retrofit it.
Sure.
Yep.
So I think we really need to look at, when it comes to the planning board, you know, what's your highest use kind of thing, and we usually recommend go for the highest use and then
Sure.
no
You
problem
can
back
go back.
down.
Yeah, I think that's what we submitted when we did the RFI, we submitted it that way, because that's what we were told, go for the highest.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, yeah.
I looked at the use tables for residential medium zoning district, and I don't think restaurants are allowed in this with special permit. But there
special-
are
it's a
other,
special.
there are other.
It's not as of right, but it's a special.
I could
So there's-
probably use it
So you
through.
can do
special-
you can do a retail, with special permit. I think there's other businesses you could have that are low intensity. But I think that the restaurant was for the DN for downtown neighborhood, it's also residential medium. The one district, but we have to look at tables.
Yeah, I mean, this property is
Oh, that's
bifurcated.
so weird that it sits on the edge of it.
Yeah, it's like, one, yeah,
The district is drawn around that block.
Oh,
Was it really? The DN district.
Yeah,
District is around that block?
yeah.
yeah, like Campbell Street is where it,
Campbell's
That's,
in
yeah,
downtown
yeah, yeah.
neighborhood and then that's over. Honestly,
That's weird.
I think we
that
can
can be
make an
given,
argument,
yes,
yeah.
that,
And we're providing parking and,
yeah.
that can get a variance.
I mean, not enough parking, but parking.
Yeah, we're trying to get away from it, but darn, more people move in and they're not giving up their cars. We have this grand plan. Find a place to park, it's on, but in downtown, I don't think you need parking.
Right, so, but
But it's a variance for the one
the
that's on
side,
other
the two
side.
buildings that we're looking at, retail, you know, that the retail space are in the, not in the downtown, they're in the residential medium. Even though they're 10 feet away.
I don't know what makes characteristic of this block different from this
I'll
block.
sit down with Jonathan.
So, I mean, well, like, we're excited to go to the work session, kind of see what comes up and how we can move ahead.
Jonathan's the big dog now.
Yeah, man. And Chad's superintendent of public works,
Right,
Moving on.
no planning for him anymore. They hired a new planner, a new engineer, not planner.
Did they?
Engineer. New engineer, her name is Lisa.
How long has she been?
Month or two.
Really?
But I was talking to Allison and she's like, oh yeah, we got this, cause I'm saying, Chad, what do you think of taking this on? And he said, well, and he got more positive as he was talking about, seeing the city moving forward, great group of people to, and, fairly young.
Great, it's pretty much.
good, yeah, good to get new blood.
And Ally will be back. I don't know when
He's
she
not
goes.
going anywhere.
She should make Jonathan come in her steps, these.
I kind of, I was gonna.
I
invite
didn't
him,
think of
but-
that, I will,
Yeah.
I'll talk when.
But, I did speak to him about this project, because also he has to report on the funding for Restore New York.
Hmm.
And he did the RFI, I mean, he's very familiar with what we're trying to do. Yeah, I don't know, any other questions about this?
Okay, moving right along.
Number 3?
Yeah,
No.
sorry. Purchaser.
So, I looked into. We have 34 lander and 38 lander that have, their deadlines to complete their repair, their renovations are long past. 34 lander, there was a fire there, they got an emergency roof permit, that I found out from the building inspector that has expired. I don't believe they've done the work. And I haven't heard anything from them in a while. They were working on plans, they had submitted things that were incomplete. And it hasn't gone anywhere since then. And 38 lander, their building permit expired. They have done a lot of work. I haven't heard from him in a while. I know he had like investor issues and things of that nature.
Hmm.
They stopped work, but then they started again. But they let the permit expire. So I don't know what our next steps should be for those. Or what the board wants to do.
How long has he had 38 Lander, do you know?
I have it written down in the other room,
I could tell you.
2023,
23 or 22, I think it might be
Wow.
further away.
I think it was 2022.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, come on.
He's done a lot of work though.
At 38, yeah.
But 4 years, that's not our kind of time, turnaround time.
Sure.
I mean, I think
If he's
38 Lander is
working,
gonna
but
like,
now he's without permits, which means
Yeah.
things are gonna.
I mean, I can notify him
Sure.
again,
Closed October of 22.
yeah.
So 3 years. 3 years and change.
For 34 Lander, I'm just concerned they really haven't even gotten a building permit, and they seem to be struggling with that.
I think that building is suffering, there's major structural damage
Mhm.
occurring, a fire has happened on their watch. It's
Should we,
time to
Yep, full pro,
say,
full plug.
and so we should initiate a reverter?
yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Maybe that will.
Go ahead.
I mean, if it gets them moving, it'll be
Right.
great.
Oh. I don't have the book.
You didn't bring it.
It's in my car, but I can, are you around?
I'm actually going to the Passaic Creek meeting.
Oh, I'll see you there.
I'm going up
I
to the
will-
activity center.
I'll stop there, I will give it to you there,
All
I
right,
apologize.
it's no rush or anything, but yeah.
Okay.
So, hi, everybody.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so, we can't have Giselle was no, we could have Giselle do this. Cause she was the attorney for 38 Lander, not 34.
That's right.
Cause she told me we'll do the next one.
But she's doing 146?
No,
Oh,
but she said she would do the next.
okay.
Okay, so I will put Prince on notice and I will initiate the reverter. I think Giselle already sent a legal notice to the owner of 34 Lander.
Okay,
Yeah, we already had her do that.
because we don't want people sitting.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead,
just a
ma'am.
high level overview of what the issue was there, so we purchased and they're not.
They have like a 2-year
Period.
I might have, yeah, I think it was 2 years that you have to get a certificate of occupancy.
But if there was work going on,
Like usually,
That would be-
you know, we could, you know,
We
people
work
made a
on
good faith effort. And I've had, you know, it's been, with this guy, it's been extremely difficult to communicate, like he only gets back to me sometimes. There was a fire in the building because they didn't secure it properly. They didn't do the emergency repair after the fire, and then he's like had all this difficulty just getting basic plans drawn up and then, or submitting, you know, everything to get a permit.
and he's a builder. so
He's a
that
builder.
Shouldn't actually be,
Yeah, I mean, it is a challenging building.
Yeah,
but drawing plans and submitting a proper plan
Right.
set
Yeah.
should be.
money I can
I
understand.
mean, and it's
but-
been months, like, you know, and he keeps on
Well,
saying,
years.
like, since he's attempted to get the permits and been told, no, you're missing X, Y, Z, and then
And
still
nothing.
nothing is happening. Like I could see maybe, I mean, we're doing work in this weather,
Mhm.
you know, so, but he hasn't even gotten the permits.
Yeah, to not do the emergency roof repair after the fire is,
No, I just watched somebody put a roof on locally in the past 2 days, so.
But we're doing it right now, it's 78. So then with the 146 SAP, we do have this reverter action that's been going on for quite some time. And, you know, the purchaser is kind of pushing back and they put in, you know, different responses to the court, and now we're waiting, and our attorney was responded back saying, you know, this building was sold in 2020, March of 2020. So we're now in March of 2026. And all they've, you know, we've talked about this in prior meetings, but they've basically done nothing and then have started doing things that have ruined the building more.
Yeah, they've done a lot of work without permits.
With no permits, and all of that was put in the motion to the court. As well as they're not paying taxes.
That's a problem.
That should seal the deal.
Yeah.
So we're just now waiting, the attorneys, you know, says there's not a timeline for them for the court to respond, but hopefully it'll be in a month or so.
Do you know how delinquent the taxes are?
I'm not sure.
Just, yeah,
Sounds like the court's gonna handle
well, it's been,
Well,
it, no?
when?
Yeah, but
That's
then
the
they,
problem.
yeah, that's what I keep on being told, like this is a, you know, an easy case, but then it keeps on kind of
many
going on.
months into it.
In the same way that the local courts are very favorable to tenants, so too are they to owners of property,
Yeah.
right? So,
No, and I think, you know, what the attorney put in the motion was like, it's very clear cut, like, we had a reverter action in the deed, or, you know, reverter language in the deed, and they did not do what they were supposed to do, and we've given them a lot of extra time.
who's the judge?
I don't know.
Is it the city court, right? Or is it the county?
But it's county.
Is county?
County.
It's county?
I don't know. And I don't know who our sitting judges are. I should.
In the city.
I don't even know who's there.
Too.
Yep.
But it has dragged on. This is probably like,
Yeah, this is 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's the county Supreme Court,
Oh,
Who's the judge?
it doesn't say here,
It's,
this isn't even the,
I just don't want it to get in a spot where it like it gets taken taxes and then there is no reverter option.
oh, if the city clauses that.
Right.
I mean, we've been in communication with the city about it,
It's not that far.
And they
down the
don't
road
want
yet.
it.
yeah.
No, I know they don't want it, but at a certain point legally, like. they're
So
gonna-
on that, if I could just chime in on that point, we don't do reverters in Syracuse, but we do mortgage foreclosures, similar kind of concept to get the property back. But if we have someone who's not paying their real property taxes for a long enough period of time, we may save the cost of the foreclosure action, in your case, the reverter, and let the city foreclose in lieu of us having to go through that process and then give it back to us again, you know, through the normal transfer process from the city to the land bank.
So then we have to pay for it now, because if it's tax foreclosed.
plus the owner gets the difference in the value, and we don't want that.
You have to deal with the surplus is what you're getting at.
Right.
Right,
Well, the owner gets
gets it one. way
gets
or
the
another.
surplus, and we don't want the current owner to benefit from the surplus.
From letting it sit there for
No,
6 years.
so reverter,
Well, also in this case, we're
I
like,
can imagine, I can't fathom, we don't do reverters, but you're gonna have to account for surplus in a reverter.
Right, they do have some money into it.
You have to account for their equity in a reverter. It's just like a mortgage foreclosure.
okay,
not if you can prove the work was done illegitimately.
They did get permit for something, right? And there were posted permits once.
Yeah,
yeah, like there was certain limited things that they got the permits for, and then they did other stuff without
Yeah.
permits, or they didn't follow the architectural, you know, like the historic district standards.
Is there any question that council is dragging their feet, or is it purely on the courts?
Prior to this, it was our council, and we had to like resubmit everything, it was like a whole thing, but now it's been like, I think part of it is that the other side finally
Kicked into
responded,
gear.
and then we had to respond to that and everything.
Perhaps it'll pick up.
Yeah, no, I think we're, you know, nearing the end finally.
It's just a scary moment with that building because it's open.
Oh, I see.
yeah.
It's totally open to the elements, like we could just walk into the
So it's
basement.
gonna I see.
yeah.
Well, then perhaps codes department should be contacted and,
They have been contacted.
oh, okay, sorry, I'm coming late.
No, that's okay. It could have been that they had it all sealed up and then people broke in again. I mean, it's
Maybe-
And there's
easy.
no door.
There's no door on the back of the
Why
basement.
don't we just put a door?
Well, so I was saying before this, our council said it's because it was an emergency situation, we could go and close up the building.
Mhm.
And so we went over there and we almost started doing it, but then we started hearing people walking upstairs, so we left.
And they're maintaining the families living there.
They told the court that their family was living in the building.
No way.
And there's another.
Violation of anything.
There's
Yeah,
a.
there's no
like,
certificate of
safety,
occupancy, yeah.
human life thing.
So I don't think that's true, but.
Maybe coordinate with NBPD and have them come and you go and you pop on the stuff and make sure nobody's living there illegally simultaneously.
Yeah,
It's a good
especially as it
idea.
gets warmer, I just think it's a matter of time before.
I know
Someone's
that
inside.
is
You have
perhaps
tenant rights.
Hmm?
not
They have to
ideal.
have Tenant rights even
No.
supersede,
Like if they're squatters,
yeah, like you can't just.
Well, first we gotta really just determine if the
Right.
tenants,
Exactly.
I don't think they're.
I don't think anyone's living there. I mean, it's literally open to the elements. You would have
Okay.
frozen to death.
This is
winter.
on the corner of Lander and South.
One in.
yeah, the one with the shed on the front,
No, it's the one
Change.
next to that.
next to the shed on the front.
That's the next topic.
Chambers and stuff.
Yeah, chambers and stuff.
Chambers and South, sorry.
So hopefully by next meeting, we'll have more information.
Okay.
But the city has the corner on offer right now.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
I'm getting my numbers straightened out.
Yeah, I can talk about that next.
Yeah,
Under property acquisition, 144 South is the building next to the one we have the reverter on. And
that's the one with the shed,
yes,
okay.
it has this really ugly thing on the front of it, the storefront. And the city was offering that for sale and for a long time. They had,
Why don't
we
you
didn't.
pass that around
We
so
didn't put
everybody
an
can appreciate
offer
it.
on it because it was very high. And they had they almost had a purchaser and then that purchaser backed out. And so then they let us know and we put an offer that was a lot lower. But they had. I was just told they have another lower offer. And then I just heard that, and it's listed on the website that it's open for anybody to put an offer through April 3rd. And, so we have to wait for that to see if our offer is accepted by the
Your offer
city.
was higher.
My offer was
Opposed-
higher than what,
No,
what?
somebody came in after us.
I don't know, there were more offers have come in, I don't know at what level, I don't know.
And you
if
don't
they're
know
supposed to
how
tell me
much?
that. No.
Okay,
But so I put in an offer for 55,000
because that's
Based
what Ally
on-
suggested.
based on the fact that it needs a lot of, work and based on what our scopes have been in recent years of like 800,000 or more to renovate them. It has a storefront and then I think 2 apartments above, and then it has 3 garages in the back. So
Was,
I think so they, because of, the way that we have to sell properties now, with tax foreclosed properties, they have to ensure that this is the market value that they're getting. But they had it, the higher, I think it was like 189 that they were offering, because that's the assessed value.
206 is the assessed value.
It went up.
Yeah.
So they weren't able to sell it at that, but I guess they had to offer it again. I think that if the other offers are not good, like people with inexperience or bad experience with the city, they could favor our offer even if it's lower than others, I'm not sure, I would imagine. So I put in this offer and I don't know if I need to get like a approval from the board of my offer, or if that has to wait until it's accepted.
Ask John that.
Do you have any thoughts about that, Johnson?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the
I put in
question.
an offer for this property because I had to kind of do it quickly, I thought, although now I know I had more time. But I didn't have the opportunity to meet with the board.
So you made
Approve the
a,
amount or
Okay.
the offer itself.
so as long as when you say you made an offer, I assume it was in writing, in the form of a purchase contract?
Not a contract, I just made an offer, like in an email to the
Oh.
planning department.
Okay. And has it been accepted?
No,
Okay. So I'm sorry, what are your,
I need like a motion from
Yeah.
the board to.
so what you've done is really, in order to buy real property, it has to be in writing, it has to be signed by both parties, so there's no contract yet. So your board can authorize you now to proceed to, acquire the property at a particular price.
Okay,
To acquire the property.
A motion
But in the,
to
sorry,
authorize you to do that?
what?
but in the future, I was gonna say, you could also sign a contract as long as the contract is conditioned upon obtaining board approval. I would certainly, you could always do something like that. A seller may not like that, or a buyer, depending on which side you're on, because they have to wait for the board to vote later, but you could certainly do that.
Okay, I mean, it's from the city of Newburgh, so they're.
Yeah.
Would be able to wait, I would
I'm happy to
imagine.
motion to allow you to negotiate a price that in your infinite experience is financially feasible for the land bank to potentially acquire and then produce a building, et cetera.
I guess that's the tricky thing, is actually negotiating, because what they are doing right now is just taking bids and then looking at the.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll have an opportunity to up my offer, or if they're just.
Oh,
gonna
yeah, you
go-
do, because there's nothing in writing,
We'll
but
give
you could
you,
come back.
we'll give you
Yeah,
carte
I mean,
blanche.
I think
$2
that
million.
like, whatever makes the land bank bid competitive, like, I think the city should be
Yeah.
aware that, like, these two projects side by side would be.
Their scale, it makes sense.
I mean, my thought, because we were gonna buy this other building, 231 First, for like 119,000, which we decided wasn't worth it. So that's the money that I'm using, although I would like to not use all of it because we have other rehab work. I mean, it doesn't pay to use, it's very frustrating that we have to spend so much on these buildings that we then have to spend so much rehabbing.
Sure.
But such is the situation now, but,
So
yeah,
another procedural point, if you're interested. So you're in an open meeting right now, right? You're live streaming. The law does allow you to go into executive session to discuss the potential acquisition of real property if you think publicity will affect the value and what you're going to pay. So
right,
if the board wanted
was
to
my
authorize
concern.
a specific purchase price or specific amount of money that you don't necessarily want your buyer or seller to know in advance, you could do that in executive session. So you then have some discretion to go forward without the world knowing about it, is, just another option for you.
Although the city is not necessarily.
Right,
No, but other buyers,
other buyers.
Sure.
But one of the things in the city process is you have to put forward your stabilization numbers, your financial plan for it. So, I mean, they're really looking at like a comprehensive view, not just the number, like, can you pull it off?
right, I did do all of that, I
And I-
said we have this type of funding and.
Like, previously,
We
that
don't,
was an issue.
yeah, we don't have to discuss specific price,
Okay.
let's give you the latitude to,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, we can't.
we can.
I'm sorry, we can set a number up to this number, but we can't give her carte blanche to say, okay,
I don't think she's
Call
gonna
me
make the
up.
wrong decision.
this is a business.
I think it'd be, okay.
I'm just saying,
All right, so perhaps we'll go to an executive session to
that sounds like a
authorize
good
that.
idea.
Okay.
We gotta
Alright.
stop the streaming to do that.
Or we could do it at the end of the meeting.
Do it again.
Next item.
But do
Oh,
we, I don't know if
John,
we have,
Yeah, sorry to be a stickler, but it doesn't matter when you do it, you'll still have to reconvene the meeting briefly even if you do it.
right,
Oh,
to,
okay, so we'll do it now.
yeah. Oh, you want to do it now?
It doesn't
You
matter.
wanna make a
We just have
motion to go into
reconvene
second?
To adjourn.
You have to make a motion and give the reason, right?
Yep, it sounds like you want to make a motion to enter executive session to discuss the acquisition of real property where publicity could affect the purchase price.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay,
Who makes-
everything John said, I'm making that motion.
Thank you, Andrew. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Alrighty.
So you turn off streaming, turn off recording, and close the door if you want.
Well, nobody else is here, so.
Because
my-
snitching.